Hi there everybody, welcome back to On the Flip Side. My name is Adam Shawalker, your host. Today we're going to be talking about the 2000 record from Bloodhound gang, Hooray for Boobies. Now, if you were around in the early 2000s, you've probably heard of the Bloodhound gang, maybe even if you were on the younger side. Their music seeped into the immaturity of childhood and early adulthood. Songs like The Bad Touch would saturate the air in middle school lunchrooms and leave you with a sense that this kind of music was perfectly in line with the rest of the world because things seemed to be so silly but really dark at the same time. I think I was probably about 7 years old when I first heard the Bloodhound gang, and at the time I didn't realize it, but the music I was being exposed to wasn't just dumb music for dumb people, but just dumb music for really any people. The enjoyment of this band and its clever lyricism and downright depraved sense of humor has been well liked and listened to by all kinds of people, slowly moving away from just the apparent target audience of proud midwits to anyone who had the will to appreciate a unique blend of 90s hip-hop and early nu metal stylings. So today we're going to be digging into the band's hit third record, Hooray for Boobies. The first track we got here is I Hope You Die. This song hits like a mid-2000s movie about high school kids getting ready for college hijinks. It is a very dated intro, but it's still pretty overall a good track. I do love now how dated some of the references are in the song, but it's kind of just a friendly reminder that this music is very much a product of its time. The second track is the inevitable return of the Great White Dope. This song's intro still hits just as hard now as it did the first time I heard it. The dumb ABCs into the drum beat is a fantastic start. This to me is one of the best tracks on this record with some minor adjustments to the instrumental style. This song would absolutely be like a modern radio hit if you just made a few tweaks. Jimmy Pop really has a lot of moments on this track too, as a very, very creative lyricist with lines like, I am the angel of death with my rhymes against humanity, teeter-tottering between brilliance and insanity. Or, like Finger Painting 101, give me no credit for having class, one thumb on the pulse of the nation, one thumb in your girlfriend's ass. Top-notch, tongue-in-cheek writing. The next track we've got Mama's Boy. We get the first skit on the album, which is pretty much just a phone call between Jimmy Pop and his mother, asking her to help him figure out good words that rhyme with vagina, kind of as a next lead-in to the following track, 3.14. This track is a pretty good indicator that a band like this would have a pretty hard time existing today. The lyrics, while incredibly clever, are pretty derogatory, but even still, I do love the unashamed sleaze in this song. It's rude and completely blatant. The whole song has a lot of really great lines in it too, like, I'm looking for the kind of girl that reminds me of my mother, but it's hard to find a girl with a viper tattooed on her tushy, and how many girls do you know that can play the harmonica with their pussies? Or, women are like dog do, hear me through, don't interrupt, it's just the older that they are, the easier they are to pick up. Entirely crude and childish, but I can't help but love it. Next track we got is Mope. This song is such a standout track to me because of how seamlessly Bloodhound gang blend hip-hop, nu metal, and industrial stylings into one twisted track. The lyrics are barely connected thematically, but follow a pattern of setup and punchline over and over again. The sampling work is outstanding, with a main line that consists of the bass line from Relax by Frankie Goes to Hollywood, and for the chorus, the intro bass line from Metallica's For Whom the Bell Tolls, with some variations later in the song for some quicker segments. This might not be the best work on the album, but I think it gets a strong kudos for just how much they've managed to stuff into one track. Next track we got here is Yummy Down on This. This one seems very much like a bit of a jab of like the nu metal sound of the time of like Korn or maybe Limp Bizkit with a beatdown style song about face fucking. It's a little tiring by the first chorus and definitely comes across as a track that you would be a little bit embarrassed to be listening to, admittedly. The next song on the record is The Ballad of Chasey Lane. This track is a classic in the Bloodhound gang catalog. It is a simple song about being a fan of the pornographic actress Chasey Lane. According to Jimmy Pop, I quote, what happened was I saw her in a clothing ad and I was like, she's really cute. So I'm not sure if we started researching Chasey Lane, but she came out and performed on our record with us and her arms were like hairier than mine, and she was dumber than that table. As far as the song goes, it's catchy, it's short, and it's easy to sing along to. Still a memorable single to this day. Next track we get is RSVP, another short skit track. This time it's just Chasey Lane talking about how gross the last song was. Next proper track is Magna Cum Nada. This song brings us back a bit to the nu metal style that's kind of been dragging a bit slowly in the track listing. However, the lyrics here are a lot more clever than the last taste we had of this style, with great lines like big letdown, unparalleled like the last episode of Seinfeld, got shot down like Larry Flint, felt like shit like a bowel movement, and like Pee Wee Herman Sperman, I can see the future in the palm of my hand, psychic friends network loser, large phone bill in my very near future. So we've got some pretty dated references here, but some, still some pretty good solid stuff nonetheless. The instrumentals do hold the song back just a little bit, but the clever writing from Jimmy Pop does save a lot of this song for me. The next track here we got is The Bad Touch. I don't think there's too much to say about this song, with one of the catchiest choruses of all time and some of the best verse writing and delivery in their entire catalog. Bloodhound Gang really have everything nailed on this song, to the point that it's likely you hear this track even today in passing. It's an iconic track that is probably, what the band is most well known for at this point in time. Next track we got here is That Cough Came With a Prize, another short skit track that is basically just Jimmy Pop having a coughing fit into the microphone. Not much else to say on that one. We've also got Take the Long Way Home. This song to me is kind of a sleeper hit and one of the most timeless tracks on this album, I think. The style here hasn't actually aged all that much. I mean, there's hints here and there, but this is a great cruising track, and goddamn, the lines keep coming so quickly that if you don't listen, you'll miss some of the brilliance in the writing. This one, to me, is a pretty big highlight track. Next song we got Hell Yeah. This scratches the same kind of early 2000s itch as the first song on the album, but in a bit of a different way. It's like they're trying to kind of recapture the sound off of their track Fire, Water, Burn off of their second record, One Fierce Beer Coaster. It's still a great track, but it's kind of obvious in how similar it is sonically, though the lyrics are great in their own right and have a good few degrees of separation from that track, so I'll give them a bit of a pass for that one. Next track we got is Right Turn Clyde. The majority of this track is kind of forgettable, except for the chorus that jabs at Pink Floyd's Another Brick in the Wall with a huge chant of all in all, you're just another dick with no balls. It's stupid, but pretty excellent to sing along to. They really knew what they were doing there, as it lands really well. As for the rest of the song, it's one of the weaker tracks here. Also, the line, "Where's your brother Daryl? Where's your other brother Daryl?" absolutely just kind of kills me every time I hear it, and it's one of the main things I think about when I'm thinking of this record is that line. Next track we got is This Is Stupid. It's just a quick skit track of some opera singers singing How Do You Let Someone Know If Your Hotcakes Are Selling Well. I'm not sure if I, just don't have the context for this joke, or if maybe it's just a really dated reference or what, but it is a track that exists on this album. Next song here is A Lap Dance Is So Much Better When the Stripper Is Crying. This is single-handedly the best piece of writing to exist in any format for any reason. Period. In all seriousness though, this 6-minute track is one of the most vulgar, fucked up things I have ever heard in my life. It is the definition of things only getting worse. With its cheery beat and simple structure, this is the be-all and end-all of edgy humor. Fantastic track. Next track is the 10 Coolest Things About New Jersey. This is just a 10-second long track with no audio whatsoever. Easily one of the best punchlines on the album with absolutely no noise needed. Next up we've got Along Comes Mary. I had actually only recently learned that this song is in fact a cover, which makes a lot of sense, as this is really the only song on the album, or in most of their discography, that isn't one giant dick joke. Regardless, it's a really excellent cover that the band owns really well. I mean, it blends seamlessly with the rest of their catalog, just the way that they do it. It's really excellent. The last track here is kind of like a hidden or bonus track. It's more of like a collection of behind-the-scenes recording snippets of various parts of the album that kind of helps give a little context into the recording process for some of the songs. It's not really much of a song, but it's kind of a cool little bonus feature. As for final thoughts on this record, I think I said the majority of what I wanted to say at the beginning of this video, but I do think that Bloodhound Gang is a band worthy of some recognition and well worth checking out. If you go into this band without a bit of a corrective lens to the time in which these albums came out, you might not have a good time, but between the context of then and now, I think that this album is slowly kind of moving away from being a dumb album for dumb people and just barely inching towards being a dumb album for smart people. I give Hooray for Boobies a solid 6 out of 10. It's aged poorly in some aspects, and in others it's as fresh as it could be. If you liked mixed bags, you'll love this record. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you on the flip side.